And some of those ways will force you out of alignment. And that's up to you. I think it's really hard to imagine yourself as the most successful version of yourself, but the least fulfilled version of yourself. And I think that's what's going to happen if you sell your fulfillment and your alignment along the way.
Deceit. If I have to lie to Kevin to get him to look up to me, that's not leadership. That's manipulation. If you look up to me because I tell you that I've exercised every day for 991 days, whether you believe me or not, I know for a fucking fact that's true, then that's leadership. That's leading by example.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Today, for episode number 1889, the most important thing to realize about success. Have we done 20 episodes in the past with the same or similar titles? Maybe and probably. But I do believe, from my perspective, talking to myself, this is the most important thing to realize about success. Being successful, whatever that means to you, whatever your unique version of success is way easier if you are willing to go outside of alignment in order to get there. So I think of it as, let's imagine you just opened a restaurant and you are committed to serving only the highest quality food. But in the beginning, and when you're trying to do it, you can't afford the highest quality food. So you say, you know what, for now, we're just going to kind of go take some food out of the trash, and we're going to make it nice, and nobody will know. But eventually, if we do that for long enough, we'll be able to afford some really nice food. And the downside is, for 99% of the journey, you're outside of alignment in order to get to alignment one day, and then you end up at what you think is going to be alignment, and you realize that you have spent the entire journey misaligned. So this is allegedly, okay? I'm going to say allegedly, and I'm going to shoot some shots here, okay? Allegedly, everybody's favorite self-improvement monk was not really a monk for as long as he said he was. Allegedly, okay, the life coaching certification that everyone's favorite monk has on his website that said that it was as good, I believe it was like, this is as good as getting a master's degree at X college. X college didn't know that was on his website. So when they found out, they said, you have to take this down. This isn't real. This isn't, we don't sign up for this. And allegedly, everyone's favorite monk also stole a bunch of people's quotes when he was on the come up. And he was sharing all sorts of wise, wisdomatic quotes. I had a moment the other night, Alan, where I was watching, I don't remember what I was watching. But you know me, I watch a lot of weird behind the scenes stuff about people that I don't think a lot of people see. Because you got to kind of go down the rabbit hole. But there's so much.
What was the Hulk Hogan one?
Oh, man, allegedly. Again, it's all alleged. I can't prove it, but people have done deep dives. Hulk Hogan, for those of you who don't know, is like one of the wrestlers, the highest grossing, most famous wrestlers of all time.
When I was 7, my friend and I, Mark, used to have a Hulk Hogan that we would wrestle.
Yeah, the little doll.
It was, you had the doll.
Of course, I had
the doll.
Hulk Hogan. I had the Ultimate Warrior. I had them all, baby. Huge wrestling fan when I was younger. Allegedly, he is a pathological liar. Just makes shit up. There was a story where he wrote a song about a kid that was, evidently there was a kid who had cancer in the front row of one of his shows. And he wrote a song when the kid died. And the song went like platinum or something. Somebody helped him write it. But like when people lined it up, they're like, no, you weren't even in that country. Like when you everything you're saying is not accurate. All of these things do not add up. I think you forget that like there was cameras there. There was like people there. There with you when you were there. Again, I don't want this to be a super negative episode.
No, but it's important. It's important to realize that not everything you hear is true. It's really
Most of what
important.
you hear is not true.
Everyone embellishes, but there's an extent where it's...
Most of what you hear is not true.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
Most.
what's really important for everyone to understand. And as you grow up, it is alarming how much that is true. Because as a kid,
Yes.
I was starry-eyed and I wanted to believe. And we've met famous people. I've been mentored by millionaires, one billionaire. I literally coach someone who... I've coached people that are wealthy, famous, still do. It is just different than you thought. And there are some people who are wealthy and famous that are in integrity, that are wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Absolutely wonderful. And then there's other people who are wealthy and famous that are absolute liars.
Well, I think the truth of the matter is almost everything is different than you expect.
Yes.
Some hyper positive, some in the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my theses just in general is my life is different than you think it is. It's either better or worse. Alan's life is different than you think it is. We are either more or less successful than you think we are. It just kind of is that because
no one knows all of the truth.
Because no one knows all the truth. Going back to the sometimes your worst fear coming true is actually good. You're not familiar with my life. So your expectations are either Kev is crushing it or Kev is not crushing it. And the truth is somewhere in between. It's my own level of truth.
The difference, though, is we don't lie.
No.
You know?
But that's the
We're
point
not
of
like
this episode.
saying things that aren't true.
Well, that's the point of this episode is the most important thing to realize about success is I think success is probably way easier if you just are willing to be outside of alignment. I've had moments. There's a sub-series of, man, how deep do I want to go? There's a sub-series of influencers on social media that I don't even know. Okay. I had a moment last night.
You got this.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like how
Yeah.
specific I want to be. I had a moment last night where I realized that essentially every piece of content you see on the internet is reverse engineered
For a certain purpose. Yeah.
for a certain purpose based on other people that are doing it. So if you find, let's say you find one post of a jacked dude with a text overlay talking about how, the most toxic people, whatever. It's some motivational quote over a jacked dude's picture. There are a million of those. And that's just their little area of the internet. This is our little area of the internet. Self-improvement and my social media and Alan's social media. But a lot of that stuff is not who those people really are. And that's the difference.
If you ever watch, I was telling Kev I'm super pumped for Gladiator 2. What mixed martial arts is for him, film is for me. But Emilia and I watched the director's cut of Gladiator, the first one. The reason I took a leadership course in college, and we were required, this was the best assignment ever, to watch Gladiator and write a report on leadership, the difference between Russell Crowe's character and Joaquin Phoenix's character. Because essentially that whole film, and spoiler alert, I mean, it came out in 2004 or 2005, so we're good. I'm really not concerned. If you haven't seen the film, turn this off. So I guess I am concerned. Okay. The whole film starts off where Russell Crowe is offered to be the Emperor of Rome and he says, with all my heart, no, I don't want to be the Emperor of Rome. And he says, that's why it has to be you, so that you can not be corrupt by power. And Marcus Aurelius wrote a book called Meditations. I have it by my bedside. He's one of the great philosophers of history, and he knew his son was not a moral man, and that his son, Joaquin Phoenix's character, was basically a piece of shit. And definitely
Plays it well.
Yeah. So that whole film is built on perception versus reality. The reality is Russell Crowe was supposed to be the emperor and refused it. And then Joaquin Phoenix's character killed his father behind the scenes before he could tell anyone that Russell Crowe was the next emperor, so he's the next in line. So the whole film was basically, in reality, Russell Crowe the whole time, who's a slave gladiator, was actually supposed to be the emperor, and the emperor was basically hoodwinking all of Rome the entire time. And the reason I'm saying all this, rather than just loving film, is everything on the internet is different than you think, and people can manipulate your perception. They can. Not everyone is. Not everyone is. And that's the thing. You have to be able to decipher. If you can learn one skill, if I could go back and say, Alan, this is the skill. You need to learn who's manipulating versus who's honest. You need to. If you just had that one freaking skill, your whole life would have been different. I have a filter. It's called unmedzai. And I have it's an acronym. We're not going to go through it, but I basically have a filtration process where I won't let anyone near me who has a high score in this. And if anyone wants it, you can reach out. Seriously, I'm happy to give it to you. I just don't want to hear. But ultimately, I know now, it took me 34 years of living and experience and many times being manipulated to realize that everyone has an agenda, everyone has a goal, everyone is trying to get you to perceive them a certain way. And some people are actually just honest and truthful and in integrity. And even in this episode, you said success is really easy when you're willing to go outside of alignment. And I thought of when I cheated on vocab tests in high school. I got straight A's in high school. I got the President's Award, but I'm ashamed that I had to cheat on a vocab test. Now, I never cheated in math or science. I loved math and science. But English I didn't care about. So I just had a little cheat sheet. And not on every test by any means, but you have to learn that it's so unfulfilling to I regret that. I genuinely regret that. No one else cares. No one cares. Who doesn't cheat on a vocab test in high school?
Nobody else sees it.
Nobody sees it. But it's just annoying because is the point just to succeed, or is the point to learn? Is the point to grow? Is the point to care, to love who you are? Because, dude, no one loves who they are when they're full of shit. I think that's a universal. Being honest, I've become a better man over the years. I know you have too. And the more and more we become better men, the more fulfilled we are. And yes, eventually the more successful we get. But we've taken L after L after L, having to take the harder road. Yeah. I mean, we just will not. I mean, I remember when I was a fitness model, all my photographers wanted to edit them. All my photographers, not all of them, for any of the photographers that might be listening, but they all asked, do you want me to put more abs in? Do you want me to sharpen this up? And I always said no. I never once did I have a modeling photo that had sharpened abs in it. Never once. And the majority of fitness models are editing their photos. Yeah. I changed the contrast on a photo I posted today. I made it brighter and put the contrast a little higher, but I didn't paint in abs. And I just think it's really unfortunate that we live in a world that is so exponentially more fake because it gives us expectations that aren't real. If as a young boy, we look up to The Rock, and I'm not trying to pick on The Rock because I think in some ways he's a great role model, in other ways not so much. But there's no possibility that dude's a natural athlete.
No, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Look at his face if you're on YouTube.
He has used some sort of supplements.
You think he may or may not have used supplements
I would bet I'd bet every dollar I have that he has. And he
of course. Yeah. But that when you're a young boy, you don't know. And I think that's what the growth journey is, right? When you're a young boy and young girls, they don't know that.
Yeah, that everybody's photoshopping their butts to look bigger and their waists to look smaller.
Yeah, exactly.
And then selling you programs on how to get in shape. That is 100%. So prevalent. It's so prevalent.
Brother, I think that's actually the norm now.
It is.
There's something going on with the human psyche and the internet that's messing people up.
You asked the question. I do believe many, 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 many people are more interested in success than they are growth and alignment.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
That's why I wanted to do this episode, because if I've learned anything on this journey, it is that you will be tempted to do things that are better for success but worst for your character and alignment.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And if you don't have self-belief, you might want to try it. Because if you don't think you can actually succeed to the level, again, I'm not saying I have empathy for people that lie. I don't know if I can have empathy for that. I have empathy for someone who doesn't believe in themselves and they feel like they can't win. I have the utmost empathy for that.
100%.
Man, it crosses a line. It's like there's got to be a better way. Find a coach.
I could have easily just studied the words on the vocab test.
It's
not like I couldn't.
It would have helped.
It would have
definitely would have helped.
I want to tell the malign joke so badly. maybe after.
You can tell it now.
All right. So I'm in English class with a very fascinating teacher.
Yeah, very, very.
And Kiki and I, we stayed up too late playing video games, and we didn't study. We were supposed to study, didn't study. And we were supposed to create a cheat sheet for the vocab test. And one of the words on the vocab test was malign, M-A-L-I-G-N. Now, I'm not proud of this. Didn't have the cheat sheet. And I was like, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. We're going to fail this vocab test. And by the way, I decided, and again, I'm a weirdo, I know, I'm an engineer, blah, blah, blah. I decided to get straight A's in high school. I was going for the President's Award. It means you get 95 or above GPA for all 16 report cards all through high school. So for me, I can't mess around. Kiki, it doesn't matter. Like, whatever. Fail a vocab test. For me, I need an A in this class. So I cannot mess around. And I'm actually shitting kittens. I'm not kidding. I cannot fail this President's Award. I can't get a B. Imagine not even being able to get a B. I got an 89 once. Luckily, it was an honors class, so it got weighted. Never took honors English again, by the way. I was a math and science guy. I couldn't stand English. Anyways, malign. I didn't know what it meant. Now I know it's malignant, like a bad whatever. And usually there's a sentence after the word that provides context. So I'm sitting there, okay, give me a sentence so I can try to figure out what the word means, right? Because you don't have to be exact. He'd give you credit for like anything reasonable. And he's malign, M-A-L-I-G-N, malign. Went fishing this weekend. My line broke. And I was like, I'm fucked. I can't do it.
This teacher was, if you paint a picture of like a 1970s hippie, this was him. This was him.
I gotta say, I was laughing though. He
was super
useless
funny.
Sentence.
Super funny.
Didn't help at all.
I'm surprised you didn't know malign.
Dude, I didn't care that much about English, man.
I'm surprised.
I regret that. I didn't read books a lot back then. Like
Everything you did, I did less of. By a lot too.
by a long shot.
By a lot. Again,
I was with some college kids yesterday. I'll be quick with this.
Yeah.
I was with some college kids yesterday, and they're 18. I needed to know their ages. I need to know age because I can't contextualize anything unless I know numbers. So it was 21, 20, and 18, and I was like, oh. You guys don't know anything compared to like when you're older, you'll know a lot, and they're gonna be fine. They're very educated, wonderful people. It's just interesting to go, oh, when I was your age, I thought I knew, and I did statistically compared to other 19-year-olds. But 19-year-olds don't know much. No. What 19-year-old knows a lot? Like there aren't any, right? It's so interesting.
Well, there's some, I'm sure, some gifted 19-year-olds.
I don't know, man. It's all the compound effect. You just don't have enough years of compounded understanding. I mean, they don't know this. What we're talking about right now, there's no way. I was just on with them yesterday. They don't know this. Well, they would benefit tremendously from listening to our show.
Well, they haven't been on social media for as long as they haven't seen the change of social media. It's just normal. What they see now is normal. For us, it's like, why is everybody so attractive and in such good shape? Everybody has a 12-pack? Wait, what's happening here? I don't want this to be a negative episode. I don't.
NLU listener, what is happening? I just wanted to jump in here and let you know if you want to get to the next level faster, we have a free virtual monthly meetup at the first Thursday of every month. You can connect with like-minded people and become a bigger part of this amazing global community. The link to register will be in the show notes.
I have really crawled into the rabbit hole, for lack of better phrasing. And it's weird how a lot of people got to where they got to by just cheating or taking shortcuts or just doing stuff that's out of alignment. And again, who am I to say what's in alignment for them? It's not up to me to decide what's alignment for somebody else. But it is mind-blowing to me how many people who it's like imagine if NLU, imagine if we paid for all of our listens. And then I charged you $3,000 a month to teach you how to grow your podcast. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
Yeah.
I would not be able to sleep at night. There's no way. A lot of people are doing that.
Yeah.
So many people are doing that. There are so many people who are just trying to be successful at the expense of their alignment. I don't think 99.9% of you watching or listening are like that. My goal in this episode is to bring awareness to the fact that a lot of the people that you look up to, you might not want to if you knew how they got to where they got to.
And you might think more of yourself if you realize how much of a better person you actually are.
Also true.
Because that's one thing that I've enjoyed, as much as this has been atrocious to realize how many coaches, mentors, people that I looked up to as a kid were not who I thought they were.
Yeah.
One of the good parts of that is I actually realized that I'm a better man than I thought. Like, that's the extent of it, man. Like, the cheating on the vocab test, I regret that. I have other little ones where I regret, but for the most part, I was a really, really good person.
I cheated in math. I don't regret it. Had to happen. Had to happen. You know? Honestly, if I knew I wasn't going to college sooner, I probably just wouldn't have tried. So I wouldn't have had to cheat.
Every young person, they go through this light and dark moral compass. They do. And then what becomes normal is normal. And also, this is important to say as well, the modeling in my upbringing, the role modeling, I mean, I wasn't even within hailing distance of some of the horrible things I was witnessing. So it's just like, it comes down to that, I think. If I had had role models that I could look up to that were actually legit, that led by example, that really did teach me virtue, I would have. I was open to that. I would have been a better. I wouldn't have cheated. You know what I mean? I didn't have.
Yeah.
It was about the result. It was. You say, who am I to say what is and isn't aligned? I think virtue is, and we've talked about this. I do. We know what's right and wrong. Everyone does. No matter who you are, people all over the world I coach, yeah. No matter who you are, there's right and there's wrong. Lying, blatantly lying, taking advantage of someone, deceitful. Someone asked me one time, what's the difference between leadership and manipulation? I said, deceit. Deceit. If I have to lie to Kevin to get him to look up to me, that's not leadership. That's manipulation. If you look up to me because I tell you that I've exercised every day for 991 days, whether you believe me or not, I know for a fucking fact that's true, then that's leadership. That's leading by example.
This is my next play right here. I'm going to take this. I have this car here. I'm going to put it in a little driveway. So I just picked up the new whip. It's been a good year for podcasting, baby. All right, I'll make a little. I'm showing it on YouTube. I'm gonna make a little smaller version of myself sitting right here. Damn.
Rev that thing up for us.
Vroom. When there are certain things. This thing's got so much dust on it. It's not even funny. There are certain things you can't put back in the jar. I say that all the time. It's one of my favorite things. When I was in high school, 16, 17. I almost cheated on my girlfriend at the time.
Oh, dude, can't put that back in the jar.
Can't put that back in the jar. It was...
Put that back in the jar.
I won't say as close as you can be to cheating, but I intended on cheating that night. I invited the person over to the party because I was going to cheat. And then I had that moment where I was like, if I do this,
yep,
I will never, ever, ever be able to say that I didn't do this. Even if it's one time, one mistake for 5 seconds, doesn't matter.
I wonder if other people have that. I'm the same way. I've never once cheated on a partner. However,
I think character-driven people have that for sure.
We had broken up not long before, and so there was that, and we were on a break thing, quote unquote, or whatever. But I'm that same way. You know what I realized, Kev? When I say 991 days in a row of exercise, I'm insecure about that being so rare. People might see that insecurity as he might be lying. I'm actually insecure that it's true.
Yeah, no, I know that.
I know, but I realize the perception of that, when I hesitate, it's like, oh, I wonder if people think I'm lying, when in reality, I'm actually insecure of how different I am in that.
I'm sure
some people can't even do a week.
Some people think you're lying for sure.
You think so?
Yeah, I think I think if if you took 100 people, no matter what you say, some people will believe you no matter what. Some people just don't care. They're like, yeah, whatever, man, good for you. And then some people probably think you're lying. I have switched. It used to be I believed almost everybody.
Same.
Now it's almost like I don't.
Opposite.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
I'm becoming more pessimistic
about people, but more optimistic about your own life.
Well, yeah, and it's
I think
pessimistic.
That's the growth journey.
It's pessimistic for preservation. It's not like I'm not trying to look down on people. That's not what it is. I've just seen so many of the people that I look up to fall. I was talking to Taryn the other day. I was like, and again, just sit with me on this one. How is Leonardo DiCaprio dating a 19-year-old? He's like 50.
I know.
Then I said, what is allegedly, what does that mean?
I know.
That's only what you see in front of the scenes. What does that mean, though? What are the layers to which one of the most famous
Growing up,
people on the planet?
Mine. It's so unfortunate.
I don't have many heroes anymore.
Same. That's what growing up is. And for anyone out there listening or watching, that there's something to this. Choose fulfillment. You can be successful. Choose alignment, choose fulfillment. Because there was a short time in my life where I was out of alignment. You know, I drank, I have done drugs, and it was awful. It was super unfulfilling. Fulfillment comes from alignment. You can also be successful in alignment. It just takes longer and it's harder. But it's better. And I've dabbled on the other side and it's terrible. And it's very important to, light side, dark side, Star Wars stuff, light side. You got to go light side. Yeah.
Well, this is the question. This is how I would wrap it up. Would you rather get to the goal at the expense of your character, or the journey would be longer, but you would be more and more and more and more of you and who you aspire to be? And honestly, you might not get the goal, but you'll be way more complete and way more whole than you would ever be. The goal is just the goal, and the results that come with the goal are nice. You want to be a millionaire? There's a bunch of ways to be a millionaire. You can go rob a bank. You could do all sorts of stuff. You can go rob a bank. You can sell drugs. You can take your clothes off. You can start a podcast. You can start a YouTube channel. You can start a business. You could ask 1 million people for $1. So many things. So many ways you could do it. Some of those ways will be deeply meaningful. Some of those ways will be deeply fulfilling. Many of those ways will require you to grow beyond what you're currently capable of, and that's wonderful. And some of those ways will force you out of alignment. And that's up to you. I think it's really hard to imagine yourself as the most successful version of yourself, but the least fulfilled version of yourself. And I think that's what's going to happen if you sell your fulfillment and your alignment along the way.
Yeah. Very last thing, when you and I crossed the $1 million mark, I remember thinking that the way we made that money, I would have crossed, and again, as pretentious as this might sound, I'm just going to give the disclaimer. I was at lunch with a mentor. He said, you'd be a millionaire if you still were in corporate, right? I said, you think I don't know that? And at the time I was broke. I said, can you please get this? It's Panera.
You mind if I get a slice of bread with my salad? You cool with that?
Yeah, you cool.
A roll?
And I think I was 27 at the time. But I always wanted to be a millionaire by 30. And I did have the opportunity to turn down $1 million. And that's a real story. Kevin was there for it. That's not a fake story. I don't talk about it because I think it separates me from people, and I don't like that. But ultimately, and I think most people think I'm an idiot for that, but I didn't even want to risk it. I didn't want anyone's hands in our cookie jar. I wanted NLU to be our thing, and I wanted to. So when we crossed the $1 million mark finally, which was a big milestone, I said, what are you most proud of was one of the questions that people asked me. Emilia, I said, the way we make our money. I am the most proud of the way we make our money. NLU, we make our money by helping people achieve their goals and dreams every time. And it actually helps them. The way we make our money is I'm more proud of that than the amount. And I'm telling you the truth on that, because there are a lot of ways we could make a hell of a lot more money. Yeah. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to make more money. You do need to make more money. Just do it in alignment.
I have times, I get emails all the time about potential sponsorships. It's like there are times I wish I could message back and say, yeah, I have those moments. It's like, yeah, I wish. That would be awesome. Be awesome just to make money from the podcast. Just not have to do anything. I have one in my inbox right now. It's like, no, it's not going to work.
Those podcasts. Oh, yeah. I almost forgot to tell you about my this coffee grounds that I do every morning. Dude, it's like the 6th one in a row. For anyone out there who's like, I have some podcasts I used to adore that are just ads now. And it's like, listen, so-and-so person, you do not use those coffee grounds and that kettlebell and that. Like, right. You've
busy
sold
day.
Out. Yeah, it's a real busy day.
Busy day.
You have 12 things you have to use every day in order to do one episode, So anyways, we are going to, I aspire to be the least full of shit human being on planet Earth.
Same. Yeah, same. It's hard. It's scary. It's scary because it doesn't seem like many people, not many, it seems like a lot of people aren't doing that. But I'm telling you, you will be more fulfilled if you stay in alignment.
100%.
That I am convinced of. You will be more fulfilled if you stay in alignment and only achieve 70% of the goal than if you achieved 170% of the goal and went out of alignment. I would bet everything on that.
I told Emilia, I don't want to be at the top of this mountain and not in love. At the beginning of our relationship, I said, I'm doing this one right. Everything. I'm not going to lie to you about anything. Nothing. And I said, I don't want to be at the top of this mountain not in love. That's a good metaphor for everyone out there watching or listening. Choose your mountain, climb it, grow, goals and dreams, all for it. Don't get to the top of the mountain not in love with who you are.
100%. Heavy one today. And alleged. Everything's alleged, You can look it up. Go on YouTube, type some stuff. You'll see. You'll see some of the research.
Is he seriously dating a 19-year-old?
Leo?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a meme where I think if the second his girlfriend gets above 25, he trades him in for somebody younger.
Oh, God, that's so depressing.
It is weird.
Hey, it's depressing for me. Yeah. Because as a kid, that was one of my heroes. It's very depressing. But again, really good actor.
Well, that might be it. You got to be careful. It's like,
yeah,
you're good at acting.
Male role models. We are the male role models we never had, my friend. So I'm proud of that more than anything. I'm proud of that more than anything. And for everyone out there, let's lead by example. Let's be the best people we can be, and let's let that spread, because I think that not only will you be more fulfilled, and fulfilled people don't want to hurt people, but also that's what kids need. Dude, I see a responsibility to this speech I'm going to give. That's such a responsibility. They were starry-eyed, and I have a responsibility to show up as a good person, the best person I can be. I needed that so desperately when I was a kid, dude. Seriously.
Same. Well, speaking of being a good person, if you're looking for a 4-year degree in a journal, allegedly, of course, the Next Level Dreamliner
From
is
Harvard
on sale.
Or Stanford? Which one?
Yale.
Oh,
yeah.
Of
Let's
course,
keep it
obviously.
4 letters only around here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
No, you're not going to get a 4-year college degree from a quarterly journal, unfortunately. What you will get, and I'm certain of this, is you'll get daily reflection, you'll get some alignment, you'll get a lot of perspective, and I think you'll build some self-trust, because it's something easy to do every single day. I've done it every day since I got it. I don't know how many days that is, but it's been awesome. So we'll have the link in the show notes. As always, it's on Amazon. It'll ship right to your house. Technology.
Look at this star at the top of the mountain. Star. That's you, Kev. And that's
I am
you,
that star.
Listener.
Oh.
Or viewer.
That's us.
That's us. Also, if anyone wants to stay in alignment with their goals, metrics, habits, skills, and identity, who you are now needs to grow in order to achieve your goals and dreams. Reach out. I adore coaching. Favorite work in the world.
Boom. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Stay in alignment. Next Level Nation.